children, time to show off the glory of the mummy! And who better to do this with their pantheon of monster characters than Marvel with the living mummy? While I usually avoid talking about the covers so that we can sink our teeth into the meat of things, I think it's important I talk about this, my children. Behold the living mummy! He lives, he walks, and bullets cannot stop him! He waited 3,000 years to wreak the revenge of the monster! Some people say monsters are too slow, too stumbling. I say the monsters have patience. It's why the monsters will win in the end. But monsters are also tales of tragedy, as you will see. Behold the first encounter with the living mummy, a pair of Israeli soldiers in the Gaza Strip discussing the futility of war and fighting and bitterness. Before they behold a monster, a thing out of hell, the mummy. As the cover boasted, he is immune to bullets, bouncing off of its now hardened skin and only allowing dust to fly off of its form. They are saved only by the image of humanity in the eyes of its would-be victims, allowing him to set off again. But here is where we meet our non-mummy protagonists, Dr. Scarab and his two anthropologist friends, Ron and Janice. The anthropologists have been seeking out the history of a forgotten African tribe, while Dr. Scarab hunts for a missing pharaoh, and now believes that their quests are intertwined. Having unearthed and translated a papyrus scroll, he learns of a lost time in Egyptian history with the pharaoh Aram-Set, his high priest Nephris, and the African tribe, the Swarilis, who had been forcibly conscripted to build a massive monument to Aram-Set. The tribe was led by a giant of a man named Nkantu, who secretly organized a rebellion against their oppressors. Once the tomb was completed, Nkantu struck, killing Aram-Set. But Nephris had predicted this, using a magic potion to paralyze Nkantu and prepare a fight worse than death. He would be mummified alive, his blood replaced with embalming fluid. But through his potions, Nkantu would not die. He would live forever, immortal and immobile in the tomb. While the mummy was indeed sealed away, it seems the gods were not pleased by Nephris' actions, collapsing the tomb upon him and burying Nkantu until the present day. Dr. Scarab reveals he is a descendant of Nephris and believes that Nkantu could indeed still be alive in his tomb, thinking Nephris may have discovered the secret of immortality. The others are skeptical of such a claim, although they admit that even if Nkantu was still alive, being trapped for 3,000 years in a tomb, alive and conscious, well, he may have gone a wee bit mad. And they would be right! The escaped mummy walks the streets of Egypt, destroying cars and menacing people as he seeks out Dr. Scarab, his confused mind believing him to be Nephris, and eventually finding him, begging to be freed from his curse. Modern weapons finally start having more of an effect on the mummy, with tear gas slowing him, and actual tears flowing out of his long, dried eyes. Janice pities the creature, wanting them to try to help it, but she is too late, as Nkantu finds himself electrocuted when he pulls out power lines to try to kill those who attack him. The mummy is apparently dead, or is it? In either case, Dr. Scarab asks to study this creature, and the police hope the mummy will never live again. But of course they would live again, my children. But that is a tale for another day. For now, though, remember the power and the glory of the mummy, whether they be alive, dead, or undead.